Hi guys, Mr. Talbot here for you. We're going to be finishing out our topic 2.4. We're going to be looking at developments in the Muslim world around the year 1200 or so. Um, and the Muslim world's got a couple different terms. Sometimes you're going to hear the Middle East. The term you're going to see in here a lot is going to be Dar al-Islam or the Muslim world. The reason we don't like to use just the Middle East is because we can see the Muslim world stretches across North Africa, even into Spain for some time, as well as a little bit towards Central Asia. So I want to remind you on topic 2.4, you're doing the video on the Mongols, and then you're either doing the Americas, Africa, this Muslim world video, or the article on Europe and kind of the debate over the Dark Ages. Any of those are going to be fine. They're all going to help prepare you for the exam. But again, you're not doing all of them, just the Mongols and then one of the other options. So some key vocab that's going to help us along with this video is the term Dar al-Islam. That translates to the House of Islam. So pretty much any region of the world where Islam is the main religion. And we can kind of see it laid out around the year 750 in the map there. That's pretty similar to what it's going to look like when we get to the year 1200 or thereabouts later on. So Islam, it's important to remember, has a lot in common with Christianity, a lot in common with Judaism, and then it's monotheistic. It's an Abrahamic religion. And then their kind of leader and the founder of Islam is the Prophet Muhammad. And then so those people that follow Islam, we're going to call them, refers to them as Muslims, hence the Muslim world. A lot of times this region is called the Middle East, and the reason it's called the Middle East is it's not the Far East, which would be like China and Japan. It's the Middle East because it's between Europe and the Far East. So that's where it kind of gets the middle. And that central location is really going to help us understand why it kind of rises to prominence during this time. So important to remember merchants being very, very important. Its geographic center, it's going to be the connecting point of the sand roads of the Trans-Saharan trade routes, so kind of getting West Africa involved. It's going to also be the kind of the connecting point of Europe going to the Far East along the Silk Roads. So pretty much everywhere across Africa, Eurasia was kind of centering its trade in the Middle East in the Muslim world. So this makes Muslim merchants very, very wealthy. Merchants are very significant in Muslim culture, particularly because the Prophet Muhammad was a Muslim. So the Middle East, the Muslim world, becomes very, very wealthy. This means that they're going to be very, very involved in the slave trade. And it's also going to mean that they're going to have lots and lots of financial resources available to spend money, not just on surviving, but on flourishing. And so we're going to see an expansion of scholarship, of universities, of libraries. And with that is going to become an advancement in technology. And they're able to do this because A, they're investing in it, and B, they're able to kind of bring all these good ideas from all these different parts of Afro-Eurasia together. One of the areas we're going to see kind of advancement in the Muslim world is going to be the treatment of women. For its time period, women in Dar al-Islam probably treated as well as anywhere else in Afro-Eurasia. So women could kind of testify in court. They could own property. They could divorce. They could be scholars. So lots of things. Now, there's elements we can still see of patriarchy in there where they're not allowed to be a scholar and study if a man is present. Their testimony in court, while they could do it, wasn't worth as much as a man's testimony. So if it was a he said versus she said thing, the he is going to win. But as backwards as that still is, it's big progress for back then. And we're also going to see kind of legacies in clothing today where Muslim women traditionally are more conservatively dressed and have the hijab. So we're going to see that. Finally, we kind of want to focus on some of the big achievements or advancements of Dar al-Islam. So basically, they're going to establish all these libraries. In fact, the largest library in the world at the time is going to be in Spain, but it's in the Muslim-controlled part of Spain. The House of Wisdom in Baghdad was kind of the main innovation center of the world, kind of like the Silicon Valley of its day. One of the things about that pushes the Muslim world further than what we're going to see in Europe. Europe was very much into you have to follow the teachings of the Catholic Church. And if you don't, we're not going to listen to you. This is kind of what's going to get Galileo and Copernicus on the bad side of the Catholic Church. In the Muslim world, they didn't really care if you were following the teachings of Islam, as long as you had good ideas, they were willing to borrow and use to innovate. So Muslim scholars are going to be using classical texts from Greece and Rome. They're going to be translating a lot of which is going to help kind of save it from being lost during the quote unquote dark ages of Europe. They're going to bring in the numeral system of India, and that's actually why we call them Arabic numerals, because it was the Arab scholars during the time that kind of made it more uniform. So they're going to bring in math innovations from India. They're going to bring in paper from China. All these different combinations are going to be made. They're going to kind of push taking the compass from um, China, and they're going to combine it with some of their own teaching. They're going to make a new thing called the astrolabe, which is going to be really important for navigation. Um, Big advancements in medicine. Pretty much a lot of the math you've heard of, trigonometry, algebra, all has its roots in the Islamic world. And so lots of big improvements there. And the improvements that the Islamic world is going to make is going to be what's going to kind of help spark the Renaissance. Additionally, Islam's control of the major trading routes is going to be what pushes Europe to start exploring because they know they couldn't control the trade routes because they tried with the Crusades and it didn't work out so well. So at this time in history, the Islamic world is probably, the most powerful and most well-developed part of the world.